Hi, I'm Scott McLean from transmusicmastery.com. In this video, I will show you how Adam Sabo created a lead sound like the one heard in L.E.D. There Be Light by Rank 1. And the sound that Adam created sounds like this. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the MIDI clip. Just going to move these out of the way for a moment. And I'll go ahead and fold the MIDI display here. So this is based on F sharp. We've got F sharp, then down to E, D, up to A, and then C sharp, and then F sharp, and then up an octave from that. So there's a line going here that's, if we look at this as the bass, the low bass part, then that repeats one octave higher, and then at the top it's A, G sharp, F sharp, C sharp, and A. So let me just play through the sequence with the MIDI clip displayed. Alright, so let me bring up the sound map. And Adam Sabo says, a pair of oscillators, both squares, and noise added to make it sound fuller. A low-pass filter takes away some high frequencies to make it sound less harsh. So we have two oscillators and a noise generator. Oscillator 1 is 11 stacked saw waves. Oscillator 2 are dual saw waves, and the noise is white noise. Those are mixed and flow into the filter, which is configured as a low-pass 12 dB per octave slope. And then the cutoff frequency on the filter is being modulated by envelope 2 with zero attack, medium decay, sustain at 0, and a medium release. That flows into an amplifier with the volume being modulated by envelope 1 with zero attack, medium decay, sustain at 80%, and a fast release. And then that flows into the effects and then to the main output. So for the effects, we have an EQ with a low shelf plus 3 dB boost near 225 Hz, a bandpass minus 1 dB cut near 1 kHz, a bandpass plus 4 dB boost near 2.8 kHz, and a high shelf plus 4.5 dB boost near 6 kHz. That flows into a delay, a stereo delay, with the left channel being 1/8 dot and the right being 1/4. It's a 37% dry-wet mix and about 35% feedback. That flows into a reverb, approximately a 3 to 4 second reverb tail, and zero dampening for a bright reverb. And then that flows to the main output. Okay, let's build this patch. Okay, so we're going to start from the initialized patch, and here's how it sounds right now. Okay, so for oscillator 1, we're going to set that to 11 voices. And on oscillator 1, we're going to set that to a square wave. So I'm going to take this handle. Okay, so it's actually easier to bring this corner handle in until it lines up vertically with the center handle. Then take the center handle and push that straight up. And then take this handle over here and just drop it down. And now we have a pulse wave or a square wave. And so now if we listen to how this sounds. And what we want to do now is set the detune amount. We're going to set it to 3. And we're going to modulate the pitch, the tune, with an LFO, so select LFO 1 and give it LFO amount or modulation amount of 2.0. And come over here to the LFO. Let's go ahead and set that. I want to lower the amp. I'm just going to bring it all the way down to 0 and then slowly bring it up. We're going to slowly bring it up to 8. Okay, and next we're going to add oscillator 2. Okay, so the first thing that we want to do with oscillator 2 is change the waveform to a square wave. So I'm going to do the same thing I just did with oscillator 1 and just draw in the square wave shape. And so now if we play oscillator 1 and 2 together, next what we want to do is set the stacking to dual and tune it down 2 octaves. So oscillator 2 is being used to help provide some weight to the patch. Now if I disable oscillator 1 for a moment, we could just listen to oscillator 2. Fairly low. Now the other thing we're going to do is set the LFO modulation on the pitch. So I'm going to set that to LFO 1, and the amount we're going to set that to 6. Alright, and next what I want to do is bring oscillator 1 back, and then also go ahead and just lower the volume on oscillator 2, and I'll bring it up to 20. So that gives it some low end. Okay, next we want to add noise. Okay, so with the noise, we're just going to lower the volume to 50. And then bring the width down to 0. And I'm thinking that the width isn't having any effect on this because the noise is already set for mono here. So let's just check that real quick. Yeah, so since noise is mono, the width isn't really having any effect. So let's bring oscillator 1 and 2 back in. So just to demonstrate without noise versus with noise. Okay, so next we're going to add a filter, VCF1. And for VCF1, we want to set the cutoff. We're going to set that to 25, and we're also going to use the LP 12dB filter type, and then bring the cutoff down to 25. And then here we're going to modulate the cutoff with ENV2 and set the amount to 70. And then set key follow to 76. And so now let's configure ENV2. Leave the attack at 0, set the decay at 56, sustain level at 0, release, we'll set that to 30, and velocity set that to 0. Okay, and next we're going to set up an EQ. So let me go to Global and add EQ1. With the low shelf filter, we're going to put a plus 3.0 dB boost between 175 and 300 Hertz. And increase the resonance to 86. Filter 2, we're going to apply a minus 1 dB cut just below 1 kilohertz. And lower the resonance to 5.0. With filter 3, apply a 4 dB boost near 3 kilohertz, just below it, probably close to 2.8. And it's a plus 4 dB boost. And we want the bandwidth to be wide, so we're going to set the resonance to 0. And then finally, with the high shelf filter, number 4, put a plus 4.5 dB boost just above 5.5 kilohertz. Okay, so with and without EQ. Alright, next we're going to add delay. So for the sync 1 time, we want that to be 1/8 dot. Crossback, we'll set that to 0. And feedback will be set to 35.5. So what I'll do first, I'll leave feedback and crossback at 0 and bring the mix up to 37. And now I'll bring feedback up to 35.5. Okay, next we're going to add reverb. So we're going to bring dry all the way up to 100 and wet to 29.5. We're going to set range to 72, feedback to 55.5, damp to 0, which will result in a brighter decay, speed 47, and modulation 42.5. Okay, and the last thing we need to do is just adjust the output and master levels. I'm going to set the output level to 50.37 and the master to 70.5. Okay, and that's the patch, so let me play through it one more time, and then that'll be it. I will see you in the next video.